Start recording. So, greetings. All right. Greetings. This is Magic the Gathering Digest, and I am Brandon. So, today we're going to be discussing our community discussion. We've been looking forward to doing that, so I have a list here on my phone. Where is it at? Right there. So, alright, so the first people we wanted to talk about was MTG Cast. So they have a podcast where they basically discuss financial stuff. I listen to them. Uh, they have like movers and things like that, things they're chasing, and so they're good people to tune into. The next people we got are MTG Fast Finance. So they're the people that basically they pretty much got me into finance. I think listening to them a lot, and then I started thinking like, well, I could probably do stuff, and I had sold a little bit at the time anyhow. So I thought, I could probably do it. I at least have a little bit experience working on eBay and stuff like that. But so they have a Discord community where they chase things and target things, and normally those cards move up in price because a whole community targets those cards. So that's probably the greatest asset about them. Now they have a podcast. That's where I listen to them on, and they basically discuss who they're going to target this week, what has moved, and what you should get out of. They talk about tournament discussion and stuff like that, and a lot of the reason that you'll get a lot of people talking about tournament discussion is because it'll matter for the cards and the formats. Prices go up and down. If a card comes out and it's the new busted thing, and now Faithless Looting, or something like that is now through the roof. So that's why they talk about tournaments and things like that. But I would say that's the part of the discussion that I like the least. My favorite part of their discussion is their weekly picks and their movers. And I think, and their Discord is really great. So I think, yeah, that's the best things about them. Now, the next people I have on here are TCG Bulk Kings. So TCG Bulk Kings, I can't remember that guy's name, but he's a really good uh, good business guy. He basically handles bulk, and he tries to buy it at the lowest price, and maximize as much as possible on his bulk. And he's got a lot of shipping practices and stuff, the way he prices things on his channel, and a lot of informational stuff that you'll glean off of his videos if you're a seller, especially if you're doing it on TCG. A lot of the TCG guys are basically, I have more of a focus with them because I sell on TCG mainly. Still haven't branched out to Facebook or eBay, so we need to do that. But for now, that's pretty much my main business is TCG. So yeah, I learned a lot off him. So definitely worth the listen. I'm not sure how often he posts, but normally his posts are informational, worth the listen. So I would say tune into that for sure. Who else we got? RNG Games. So RNG Games is kind of like TCG Bulk Kings. They kind of have similar practices. They handle a lot of product. I wouldn't, one for one compare them or anything like that, but they handle a lot of product, and I believe believe RNG's got like a Roka and stuff like that where they have a card sorting machine and like they do stuff like that now. I think TCG Bulk Kings was using like a scanner type deal. I'm not sure. Um, their processes looked pretty decent. Um, and I got my own shipping processes, and I gleaned a little off them, and I took a little bit of what I like to do and how I like to set up my own stuff. But after that, we got uh, anybody that does bulk. Um, no, those are basically the guys I have listened to for bulk. Now, um, Bulk Kings and RNG Games, both a YouTube channel. Next, I think we got a up and coming YouTube channel, Game Vitamin. He's just super professional. You can tell he's a very business savvy guy. He definitely does his research. I'm not sure if he has like a staff or what all he does to facilitate his uh, procedure, if he's got an editor or anything like that. I currently don't have an editor. I edit my own stuff. So, uh, he's really good. I would say he definitely gathers information very well and relates information very well. So yeah, he's an up and coming seller. Just he's not like low end, so he doesn't have, I would say, really a lot of restrictions. I mean, he went and bought out a ton of boxes just knowing he would maximize on it. So I mean, if you have the collateral to go and make business purchases like that, you have a lot of wiggle room and just a leg up, if you will. I mean, the more money you have, the easier it is to turn it, you know? But yeah, and he's been posting at least every couple days or, with, I would say a couple times a week. Yeah, so TN Cards. He's an up and coming guy, and he has other channels. So you can tell he's really professional, and he gets a lot of views. He's got a lot of traction. You can tell he has savvy in the YouTube world. So he's doing pretty well, up and coming, and he just I think he bought a big collection or something like that, and he's selling it, and he's selling on Facebook and stuff like that too. And I think he might be selling on eBay as well. I'm not entirely sure, but he's a pretty good, interesting new channel. So I'm looking forward to keeping watching him and see where he goes and what he does. So those are the kind of up and coming guys that I got to talk about. Now CNA Games, Cardinal Games. They, as far as I can tell, they're pretty much Pokemon. So not really a Magic thing, but Pokemon is very synonymous with Magic, and most people that dabble in Magic dabble in Pokemon. So I do listen to them, and I've been starting to get into a little bit of Pokemon here in anyhow. So yeah, CNA Games, Pokemon. That's all I'm really going to mention about that. Now the next people we got is Final Trade. Now Final Trade has probably been the best find I've found here in a while. I would say probably, definitely. Uh, One of the best channels. They post, I think, daily, as far as I know. Always informational, always telling you about sales and what's moving, you know projections of things, collector boosters and things, just stats, and you know it's just a great informational channel for sure. You definitely can glean a lot of know-how and business savvy, and just TCG awareness from Final Trade. And they got a community tab in their YouTube where he posts stuff like links and things for sales, which is really great. He also, I think he has a Patreon. I'm not a Patreon member yet. I would like to be, though. I'm not sure what it all comes with. I think it may come with a Discord. I'm not entirely sure, but I am definitely uh, looking to do that at some point. I can't have so many things out there that I'm paying into at a time. So the next people we got is Matt Caster Mage. They got a market movers. They do it daily, so it's a market mover up and down. It shows you cards moving, and typically they're cards that you want to pick up, or if you see something decreasing in price, you want to sell out of before it decreases too much. Uh, Definitely great thing to tune into daily. I would say daily content is great. If I could do daily content, I would maybe someday, but definitely give them a listen. Matt Castermage. So the next people we got is Heroes and Legends. Now they're kind of like the market movers. They got a MTG Market Watch. So on their Market Watch, they basically do the same thing. But I don't think they post as much. I think it's only like weekly or something like that they post movers and things of that nature. So, but they're definitely still worth the tune in. So I would go ahead and give them a follow and all that. Next thing I'll talk about is MTG Stocks. Now, this is just a website that you can go to, and it's basically just like the market movers, only it's a sheet of what's moving up and down, and you got to kind of digest it yourself. So that's a little weird, but you can still glean some information off of it. It's not like you can't look at the numbers, but it's hard to tell, like, oh, what's this even mean up and down. But anyways, it's a website. It's good to be aware of and to look at. EDH Recast, they are a podcast where they basically discuss movers, decks. They'll be talking about basically what they see through their information through EDH Rec. So EDH Rec Cast, it's EDH Rec. Moxfield uses EDH Rec. I use that for Moxfield because I have all my decks on Moxfield basically. And yeah, so they tell you the cards that are basically the most index, and they're like, well, this is a pretty low price for it to be in 300,000 decks. And they break down numbers and things like that, and they were like, oh, yeah, that is kind of weird. That's only $2 or something like that. I should probably pick it up before it's like 10 or something. So they have information like that, and they have good personalities, entertaining personalities. Brainstorm Brewery. They are a podcast as well. They have a Breaking Bulk that I find pretty good informational stuff. I would love them to be like a full podcast about bulk. Really, like I would love. Uh, I've not found a good bulk podcast, and I would like to find one, but I would love to just know like the ups and downs with bulk because I feel like that's a really good niche that could be targeted, but it's really not as much as it could be. But I like their break in bulk. They do have other discussions that are informational and well worth the listen. So it's like a little here, a little there. Sometimes I tune in, sometimes I just don't. But you know, I'll give them a mention because they are pretty. I would say they're pretty good in you know retrospect. But so other people, we got the Command Zone, so they post all the time. It's always good to tune into all of their content, really, because the cards that they mention get the most eyes. The most eyes get the most clicks. The most clicks get the most buys, and that's how it goes. So people within the community that get a lot of eyes, like Joey Moss up in Cleveland, uh, Ohio boy, but Joey Moss, EDH Rec, just like big names, MTG Mudsta, just so like a lot of big names, gameplay, or things like that that get a lot of eyes, cash cards, just all those people. You get cards on there, and sometimes it moves things. So sometimes it's good to be aware of the people that get the most eyes. And that segues into the next people, the professor. So, I mean, Tolarian Community College, they definitely have good information when it comes to opening product on screen. I think anybody that does crack packs on screen really is somewhat a financial thing to tune into because you can kind of glean what the product is. So I tune into a lot of cracking packs. Well, not a lot, but I do tune in just to kind of see like, oh, is this worth it? Would I like opening it? So they do that. He does a lot of discussions where he talks about what's going on. A lot of that information is pretty good. Um, so he's definitely worth the listen, worth the follow. Big name. So a lot of people tune into him pretty early and regularly. Next people, Kitchen Table TCG. So Kitchen, it's this guy Louie down in West Virginia, and he buys collections and you know basically does what I do, just way bigger in scale. And he has a card store, I believe, which I would love to know where it is because I would like to visit it sometime. I'm not very far from West Virginia, so I'd like to give it a visit at some point. But um, yeah, he did a live opening last night, and it was great. I wanted to buy some, but I've been kind of saving to buy a Marvel all foil bundle, so I'm kind of trying to do that first. Great listen, talks about relevant stuff, talks about Magic and Pokemon, which I really like, just because I like knowing both, and because I feel like if you know a product's going to be good and everyone's expecting it to be good, and why wouldn't you buy another product, whether it's Magic or Pokemon? But especially since I've been doing, two podcasts, one Magic, one Pokemon, it's just good for me to tune into that guy. And not only so that guy, then you got Hometown TCG, which they do a podcast together. I don't know about together, but they have definitely been on together. And other personalities on May the Zoo. So Hometown TCG, he seems to post every 2 days, something like that. Information, good guy to listen to. Doesn't seem to be fluff. So definitely worth a listen with him, I would say. Hometown TCG, yeah. Yeah, good one. 10,000 follows. He's definitely good. So, yeah, as I mentioned, they're on a podcast, May the Zoo, which is also on YouTube. That's how I found it. But, yeah, May the Zoo is a long form podcast where they do a lot of talking. And I feel like if you're in like a factory or something like that, it's really good to digest that podcast for sure. They have a lot of good information on there. Now, after that, you got the Lab, TCG. Now, I was going to mention them, but they're a dead channel now. He seemed to be doing pretty well, and then I think he went to college, and then interests changed or just something like that. I don't know. I don't know if he'll come back, but if he does, I would tune in. He seemed to be pretty good. Now, I guess another upcoming guy, sets singles and SIRs. I thought it was SIRs, but I guess it's SIRs. I don't know what SIR is, or what it stands for. But he seems to be like a somewhat a seller like me, maybe even less experienced, but he seems to know what he's doing a little bit more with YouTube than I do. So maybe that's information to glean. But he talks about relevant information. I wish he'd post more. I think he said he was like moving or something like that. He couldn't really post. Like I said, eyes on the prize. MTG Goldfish, they have a website kind of like MTG Stocks where you basically can tell things, and they have deck lists on there with the value, and sealed product with the values, and the value of cards, just and so you can look that on their website. That website's great. Then they also have a podcast, and I think they're on YouTube too. I'm not sure. I don't really tune in to a lot of them, and I think that was because I tuned in them a lot when I was playing standard, and then I stopped playing standard, and then I stopped tuning into them and SBMTG, which I'll go ahead and throw them out too. I haven't listened to uh, SBMTG in a while, so I'm not really going to speak on what he's been doing, but I want to kind of tune back into him as well because he was a good standard source of information. And if standard's good, and if standard's good and it's actually relevant, like making uncommons worth it again and stuff like that. That's always great. I don't tune into a lot of modern content, so if anyone can shout me out like any good modern content sources, that'd be great. I hear some obviously from the people that I've mentioned, but not a lot. So after that, we got just a few more. So Zab's Nerd House, she seems like a pretty great channel. She seems like she doesn't very like post that very much. She seems more like cosplay, but she seems like she's a magic person and she buys magic stuff. Hopefully, she does more magic posts. I'm not sure, but she could probably be a good source. But what I have watched has been pretty good content, so I'm gonna give them a shout out anyhow. So they're pretty, she's pretty good so far. Like I said, I would just like more. Um, MTG Moxman. Now he talks a lot about reserve list stuff. I don't really listen to a lot of reserve list stuff because I don't really. It's not really my game. I don't really mess with, and I don't really know a lot of reserve list stuff. So it's kind of not my bread and butter. Maybe I'll get into it one day, but that's basically all really wanted to mention with him. He covers other content and things like that. So worth a listen, worth the tune in. After that, we got MTG Retcon. Now he was posting YouTube videos, and then I seen he hadn't posted really for a really long time and was just doing a lot of shorts, or was just doing shorts. I don't know if it's a lot, but now he just now posted another video. So I like him to just post videos. He seems like he knows what he's doing, and um, you know, seems like he's got good information to put out there as well. So, um, who else we got? Oh, so yeah. Last but not least, we got Jake and Joel. Very smart guys. They will definitely tell you information that you need to know, and I would tune into them. I feel like sometimes their personalities are a little like wonky and zany or whatever, but you know that's normally good. And they uh, they just did like a review. They do all kinds of stuff. They post a lot, so they're on top of the format. They're on top of the magic world. So they're tuned in. People that are tuned in are always good to listen to, and they they do financial things as well. So they're definitely worth the listen. But that's all I got for today. Maybe we'll do like a schedule at some point where we can kind of see how these people line up on posts. That way, when I do my content, I can like maybe do a weekly report on what they said throughout the week, or maybe even every few days. Tune into that, but that's all I got for today. This was MTG Digest, and I am Brandon. If you want to see other content from me, I got a secondary channel that I edit where my daughter Jordan opens Pokemon and experiences Pokemon for the first time. She don't know the names or nothing, so she's learning everything for the first time, and she's not played the games or anything like that really. We play a little bit of Pokemon Go, so um, but yeah, it's been fun doing that with her. And then I'll have my decks down below. I'll have some other links. I'll probably link my social media down below, so give us a follow on there as well. That's all I got for today. I'll see you guys later.